guys, let's look at the glass as half full, not half empty. It's gonna be well. It's gonna be well. Okay. Shiko is saying she's feeling great, and we are looking forward to having an awesome time. Now, one activity, and then we roll. I am so excited about the guest we have tonight. Tonight we only have one guest, and I am so excited because I am so ready to learn. Okay, I'll be talking to her. She'll be talking to us. We will be all talking to her. We will have a nice Q&A session. So let's come in with an open mind. Let's have a really candid conversation. Tonight it's gonna be also a little different, guys. If you really have that burning question, you're worried, and you're thinking maybe I should not ask, I will ask you to kindly ask. Okay, kindly make sure that you ask. Type in, if you cannot type it to all of us to see, kindly type on my chat. You can private chat me, okay, and I will read your question. I don't need to say your name, or you can even send it to a friend of yours who is in this panel, and they can ask the question on your behalf. But most importantly, guys, is that tonight I need us to, after the hour, I need us to be better than we tune in, okay, emotionally, mentally, and then it will translate in our body, in our finances, in every other thing. So kindly tune in. Tune with me that all of us are animal Masai Mara. All of us are animals in Masai Mara. All of us tonight. Let me see how many. At the moment, we have about 37, okay? 37 of us. We are all different animals in the Masai Mara. Which animal would you be? Type. Let me see. Which animal would you be? And why? Type, which animal would you be and why? I want to see this. I really want to see this. If we were all animals in the Masai Mara, which animal would you be and why? It's your choice. Go ahead. Type, guys. Type. We are all animals in the Masai Mara. Okay, right now we are having the great migration. And I can tell you it's an awesome place to visit, but imagine that we are all in the Mara, and we are not tourists. We are not domestic tourists. We are not visitors. We are the animals. People have come to see us. Which animal would you be and why? Which animal would you be and why? You have a minute. Type. Yeah, type. You are. We are all animals in the Mara. Which animal would you be and why? So I can really sing. People taking territories here. Quick. People are gathering, taking their territory. Araka. So let me see. Hey, Magdalene is saying lion. And Magdalene, you haven't told us why. Okay, you need to say why. All right. Janet is tuned in with the kids, Rawel and Sheena. Okay, and the kids are saying they're tigers because they are so fast. Wewe Janet, peleka watoto Masai Mara. All right. Tafadhali, peleka watoto Masai Mara. Okay, Nkatha is saying the crocodile. It's a feast in the Mara River where the wildebeest are crossing. True, let me tell you, buffet, every day is a buffet for them, every day. Lucy is saying lioness, to be the queen of the jungle, awesome. Fred is saying lion, waiting for the wildebeest, for the fresh meat, awesome. Someone is saying porcupine, a little spike to others sounds like fun. Ha! That's a naughty guy right there. Went. Caro is saying she wants to be a gazelle, fast, beautiful, and tactful. Awesome. By the way, the gazelles can jump really high. Okay. Monica is saying a lion because there's a lot of prey to be hunted. Awesome. Vincent is saying lion, king of the jungle. Milulu is saying gazelle, swift and lovely. Irene is saying cheetah, because it's swift, slender, and rare to see. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, guys. Like you can see already, you are picking your favorite animals, and most of us, from just that small activity, most of us have picked the lion, majestic and always a leader. This is just to show that we are all positive. We all want to win. We all want to get out there and become what we should be. All right. And so, guys, just like the lion, I need us in this season to really, really be brave. Okay, be courageous. We are together in this. Like I said, we are together in this. We shall get out together. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to invite our guest tonight. I am so excited with the guest tonight, because this is a topic that everyone, and I mean everyone, should listen, should tune in. And guys, I want you to promise that once you learn from all of us, but especially from our guest, that whatever you will learn, you will pass it on to someone in this season, all right? Type promise if you're with me. Type promise. Type promise. I want to see if you will share with someone. Type promise. Type the word promise right there. I want to count how many are promising. Yeah? Yeah, because people need this more than ever. People need what we learned tonight more than ever. I can see the words promise, 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 promise. All right. Asante sana, guys. Let's promise that, you know what, from what you learned tonight, from what we learned tonight, from what we shared tonight, we are here standing together as one. Like I said, it's COVID-19 times. It's been difficult. It's been harsh for all of us. But you know what? We are in it together. We're coming out together. All right. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce our panelist tonight. Okay. Her name is Carol Joki. What a fine name in this season to have. Joki, your parents were wise to give you those names. Okay, she is a life and wellness coach. She is certified through the Strategic Intervention Coaching Program and Robbins Madane's Training Center in the US of A. She has pursued internationally acclaimed training courses like Unleash the Power Within by Tony Robbins. Guys, yeah. And then that program actually culminates with the Firewalk, whose objective is to master the instinctive reaction and roadblocks that our minds create against physical, emotional challenges. She's a holder of a degree in education. She actually told me, you know what, Moas, I was a teacher. And so I said, tonight you teach us, but differently, you know, put your teachers on, but differently. Nowadays we want to do experiential. And so she's on, and a postgraduate diploma in marketing. Carol is the founder and CEO of Roadmap to Wellness, an organization that seeks to simplify and demystify the relationship between one's physical health, mindset, and emotions, and the impact of each of these in our everyday health and well-being. All right, we will be sharing her contacts on the chat in a short while. But kindly, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together like this as we invite Carol to kindly roll and enlighten us, educate us, inspire us. We are all yours for the listening. Carol.
Wow. Good evening, Mwangi. Good evening, everyone here. I'm so delighted to be in your midst. That was a very warm welcome and a very warm up to this session. I'm very happy to be amongst you, to be with Outburst. I've been following your work, Mwangi, and the organization, and it has been a delight to see what you're doing for people living with cancer, people, supporting cancer patients and everybody else. What a wonderful and God-given activity that you do, or rather work that you do with Outburst. And for that reason, I'm very, very happy to be here tonight. I will be talking a lot about wellness in the space of mindset, in the space of emotional wellness, but it is very hard to speak about the mind, to speak about mindset, to speak about emotions without speaking about the physical body. So like you've heard in my intro, I like to establish, to help people appreciate the relationship between the three, to help people understand how each affects the other, and demystify the previous notion that the mind is a very complicated part of our body, or it's a very complicated organ or system of our body. And in fact, help us in very simple ways understand how we can improve our emotional well-being and also our physical well-being, so that ultimately we have a complete sense of wellness. So to kick us off, start by saying to you something one of my coaches said. Joe Dispenza, a neuroscientist, says that you cannot overcome a current challenge using the same state of mind, emotions, thoughts that you had in the past. I repeat that. You cannot overcome a current challenge using the same state of mind, emotions, thoughts, and even feelings that you had in the past. Why am I saying this? Because we are talking about difficult situations. We are talking about difficult challenges that we face in our lives, and not just because of COVID. Like Mwangi said, we face them almost every other time. So I want to put it to us that what is standard, or what is the variable here, is not difficult situations. It is not the difficult circumstances that we'll face. What is the variable is how your mind, your mindset, your emotions respond to the difficult situations, to the challenges that we face over time. In the course of your life, believe you me, even if it is not COVID-19, there'll be another challenge. There'll be a challenge with disease. There'll be a challenge with relationships. There'll be a challenge with work. There'll be a challenge with job cuts, like we are seeing right now. All sorts of challenges. And some of them are not even as big as we are mentioning. Some of them may be smaller. Traffic jam that we'll be talking about. I love to talk about traffic because it should be not such a big deal, but it is a big deal in the space of mindset and emotional wellness. So I'll be talking about it. So as we start this conversation, I'd like all of us to remember that it is not just about this season. It's about different seasons of our lives that we will face in and out, depending on what is going on in our lives. And what we need to be aware of is that how we develop our mindset and emotional fitness is what will help us navigate these situations, these challenges, these difficult circumstances. So let us start by just laying the ground of what is the mindset. Now, the mindset is one's worldview. How do you see the world? When you get to speak, how do you express your world? And your mindset is a reflection of your belief systems, the beliefs that you have accumulated over time. It is a reflection of your thought processes. It is also a reflection of assumptions that you have made over time. And in our environment, Kenya, I like to say it is also a reflection of our stereotypes. You know, every time I talk about mindset, I bring about the issue of stereotypes. And we Kenyans are good at it. We have so many stereotypes, and sometimes we forget that these stereotypes are actually not facts, because we have used those stereotypes so many times, and even in formal conversations, even in political conversations, so that ultimately our younger children growing up hearing the way we speak about different communities, about different circumstances, may actually think these are facts. And therefore, if then they have been spoken about for so long, they're in our thought processes, then they become our mindset. So that is what our mindset is. And how do you express your mindset? For you to know what type of a mindset, I know we generally say that a mindset is either a growth mindset or a non-growth mindset, which is very general for purposes of understanding yourself. So for purposes of being able to understand where you are at, I'd like you to think about your mindset being expressed in your emotions and in your language. So if you want to ask yourself, okay, so what kind of a mindset do I have? Consider how you speak. Consider the things that you say to be true. Consider the belief systems that you hold. And then consider your emotions. Those things will begin to give you a perspective of your worldview. And it is usually easier to get this perspective if you go into assessing yourself over time. And we'll come to that in a little while. And then, of course, emotions is related to our feelings. For purposes of this conversation, we will use feelings and emotions interchangeably. Scientifically, they are a little different, but we will talk about just feelings and emotions. And on the same note, we will talk about the normal emotions that we feel, the ones we call the positive and negative emotions. Now, if you think about it, if we have already said that our mindset is based on our belief systems, then it also goes on to say that we have been building a mindset for a very long time. And our emotions also accumulate or come onto us from a very long time, probably from the age of 2, 3. So let's say 3 years, you are able to actually recount certain emotions that you felt at the age of 3. Many times people don't do it because we rarely take time to go back into our past, but you have capacity to be able to recall your emotions as early as when you're 3 years old. And over time, what happens is that the most recurring emotions will be the emotions that you express with a lot of emphasis. How do I say that? I mean, the emotions that have had the greatest impact on your life, either positive or negative, will be the emotions that you express a lot of time, will be the emotions that will be recurring day in, day out. Now, what do I mean by recurring? On a day-to-day basis, like now, Monkey has asked us, how are you feeling? What are we feeling? And we will give you an expression of our in-the-moment feeling. But besides the in-the-moment feeling and emotion, there'll be other emotions that seem to recur in us on a day-to-day basis. So that today, if I was to analyze my emotions at the end of the day, I may find that I was anxious, and then I was largely anxious, let's say, and then maybe happy for some time, and anxious, happy, and I'll use another one. Which other one? In this season, we can say fearful. And tomorrow, when I come again to analyze my emotions, I notice that anxious, fearful, what was the other one? Happy, recur again. And I do that for a week, 3 weeks, 1 month, and I notice that amidst all other emotions, these emotions are recurring a lot of times. What does that mean? Those emotions are my prevalent emotions. Now, your prevalent emotions tell you a lot about your emotional wellness, about the state of your emotional wellness. We'll come back to that and see how these prevalent emotions come about. But where are we at? We are at a place where we know what mindset is. We are at a place where we know what emotions are. Now, I would like to put it to you that your state of well-being at any one time is a function of your emotions, is a function of your state of mindset and your body. So the three factors come together to form your well-being, to form your what I call your wellness. And if the three are not functioning very well, your wellness will not be optimum. For a very long time, I've heard Mwangi say that he encourages right eating, nutritional eating, exercise, and those sort of things, and they're very good things. But for a very, very long time, we have considered nutrition and exercise as largely almost the only things that we've emphasized that will give us wellness. And unfortunately, we put very little emphasis on our mindset. We put very little emphasis on our emotions, or the emotional dispensation that we are constantly in. And we have ended up in a situation where we have lost a lot of wellness, where people have actually gone on to become sick because of not having taken care of their emotions, because of having not taken care of their mindset. Recent science is actually stating that up to about 70 to 90% of all doctor visits will include an aspect of emotional stress. In other words, for every so many people, or for every 7 to 9 people that visit a doctor out of 10, even if the disease they have, or even if the complaint they have is a physical complaint, there will be an aspect of emotional stress that has caused them to visit the doctor. Sorry, I thought that was a conversation that was meant for me. So if that be the case, if 70 to 90% of our visits to the doctor have an aspect of emotional and mindset wellness or lack of wellness, then it leaves us in a place where we need to ask ourselves, what exactly is happening with our mindset? What exactly is happening with our emotions that is causing our body to behave in the way it's behaving, to an extent where we become unhealthy? I'll give us certain scenarios so that we can be able to understand what we are talking about. Now, if you think about your emotions, for example, many people loosely describe how they are feeling by saying, I am stressed. Now, saying I am stressed could be meaning a lot of other things. It could be meaning you're overwhelmed. It could be meaning that you're feeling disturbed. It is a description that is encompassing, or that encompasses a lot of other emotions in it. Now, one of the things that makes us find ourselves in a situation where we are unable to understand what we are feeling or why we are feeling the way we are feeling is because we have not been trained, or we have not grown up learning how to listen to our bodies. I will illustrate that because it's very hard to say listen to our bodies and leave it at that. On any one day, your thoughts will be running in your head. And most of the time, 95% of the time, the thoughts that are running in your head are actually recycled thoughts. They are thoughts and feelings that you felt yesterday, that you felt the day before yesterday. But because the body has become so accustomed to those thoughts and to those emotions, we are not consciously aware that we are thinking like that, or that we are feeling like that, or that we are in that emotional dispensation. So sometimes somebody may ask you, Carol, what is it? You look disturbed. And the minute you're told you look disturbed is the minute you start thinking, okay, exactly what is the problem? Half the time, we are unable to articulate exactly why we are disturbed. We may just say things are not right, or I'm not feeling very well, but half the time we do not pause to investigate exactly why we are feeling disturbed. So that you wake up in the morning and you follow your usual routine. I don't know what anybody's routine is, but I'll just use a common routine that is happening nowadays. You wake up in the morning, you pick your phone, you go to social media, you look at posts, you respond to some of them, you laugh at others, and then you see some others that are negative posts, and you send them, you forward them to your friends. Go make your breakfast, have your breakfast. If you're still able to go to work, maybe you go to work and you find, I don't know, these days is not as bad as it used to be, but you find there is traffic. There's traffic on Jogoo Road, there's traffic on Gong Road, there's traffic on Wayakiwe. And believe it or not, you begin to get irritated with that traffic. The same way you got irritated last week, the same way you got irritated last year. Now, that is not to say that the traffic has just begun. That is not to say that you do not know that you are expecting traffic, but it is to say that that emotional reaction of irritation, that emotional reaction of impatience has become so ingrained in your body that it has become a part of you. You have behaved in that way for so long, you have reacted that way to that traffic for so long, it has gone on from becoming a mood, it is now a temperament. And for a long time, again, we had been told that, you're born with your temperament, you're born with your personality. But science is disapproving that and noting that you actually can build around your temperament and change it because of how you're exposing your emotions, or the emotions you're allowing yourself to feel, or how you're exposing your mindset. So let me carry on with the traffic. So you found this traffic, you're irritated, you're actually annoyed about it, and because you have reacted in this way for a very long time, sometimes you actually even get abusive. Don't we know people like that get into traffic jam, they're so irritated by what is happening, and they get abusive. They hurl insults at the people on the road or whoever is causing the traffic. They block each other on the road. You're going to work, and you get to work in that state of mind, in that state of emotions. You're agitated, you're angry, you're annoyed. And throughout the day, that irritation keeps seeping in to your day routine unknowingly. And if you carry on like that for a very long time, what happens is that your mind saves that emotion into your subconscious. When that emotion has been saved into your subconscious, it becomes a part of you. It becomes a part of your personality. So that with time, you hear someone say, Mwangi is just like that. If you find Mwangi in traffic, he's usually very, very annoyed. He's just like that. Mwangi is not like that. Mwangi has picked up a temperament of reacting to the situation of traffic in a certain way. Now, why am I talking about this scenario? This may be the lowest of, emotions or, emotional reactions that we can speak about. And I don't use it lightly because it can cause the same levels of unwellness as other serious scenarios. So what is happening? every day when you get into traffic and you're getting disoriented, you're getting angry, you're building up your stress levels. Slowly, your previously very small amounts of stress begin to become higher levels of stress. Slowly, what used to be just an acute short spout of reaction begins to become chronic, because you react that way in traffic, you get to work, you get a little flustered about a few other things, or you're home, you find your children have not done their homework. I don't know if we have homework now in this season, but when we used to have homework, they've not done their homework. And because you're carrying on the irritation that you got in traffic, you bring it home. And you cause a bit of, a stir by, making noise about homework. But the actual reason why you're irritated is not so much the homework. It is what happened on the road. And now, because this is happening too many times for you, it becomes your personality. And this personality creates a form of chronic stress in your body. When it is chronic stress, it begins to raise your hormones. It begins to raise your stress hormones, your cortisol, your adrenaline, your fight or flight hormones. So every time you're in traffic, your cortisol, your adrenaline is raised. And this increased raising of stress hormones begins to make you unwell. We already know that excessive amounts of stress can cause headaches, can cause back pains, can cause depression, can cause insomnia. There's so many other aspects of unwellness that can be associated with stress. But so that it doesn't look so trivial, my point here is that there's so many times that we are in a state of negative emotions, what I like to call disempowering emotions, but we are not even aware. We are not even aware that this is the way we are reacting to this situation on a day-to-day basis. Now, what is happening to our mindset? Because I find it very difficult to speak about emotions without speaking about mindset. Remember, we started by saying that our mindset is our worldview. It's the way we see the world. So here's a situation of traffic. How are you seeing that situation? What have you allowed yourself to read into that traffic? Do you tell yourself that the only way you can deal with traffic is by cutting other motorists or by being rude to other motorists? Have you considered waking up a little earlier? Have you considered using another route? So your mindset is at a place where you have accepted that this is your normal routine, and if this be your normal routine, you react to it the way we've just illustrated. Now, there is a possibility that before even you get into traffic, there are certain thoughts that run in your mind that create a scenario that is going to cause the impatience. What do I mean? You're dressing up in the morning, you're getting ready to go to work, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, it's already 7:30, I'm about to get onto Jogoo Road, I'm about to get onto Gong Road, it's usually so messy at this time. So the thought processes that you're carrying out are the ones that are preparing your emotional reaction. What if on a different morning, you chose not to think about how Jogoo Road usually is, and you tell yourself, I know I'm a little late, it's already 7:30, but I'll ensure that today I'm not going to get affected by this traffic. I'll put on my best music and I'll listen to the music. I'll put on maybe my best CD that is a book, and I'll actually take notes in traffic. Chances of you reacting in the previous way to the traffic that you reacted on a previous day are very, very slim when you're actually now aware. So the point I'm driving home is that our emotional and mindset wellness hinges on One, awareness. How aware are we of where our mindset and our emotions are? Tony Robbins says that if you can consciously know what you're feeling, if you can consciously follow your emotions, you can be able to change your whole life being. And it is true, because once we establish what we are thinking about, these thoughts are then expressed in language. Now, the sort of language that we express these thoughts in also affects what we are feeling. So our mind is expressed in language and emotions. And once we express it in this way, we feel a certain way. And when we feel a certain way and we speak in a certain way, we also act in a certain way. So our behavior is largely a product of our mindset, thoughts, and emotions. So in essence, what am I saying? Not eliminate difficult situations. What we need to do is learn how to navigate the difficult situations using a rewired mindset, using an awareness of emotions, so that when we get into the scenario of a very difficult situation, our mind has already saved a different pattern of how we are going to respond. I repeat that. We cannot eliminate difficult situations. We cannot say that from today we've already had too much of COVID-19 in 2020. In fact, the whole of it is gone now. So please God, 2021, keep it calm, no diseases, no financial stresses, no relationship issues. Keep it straight and narrow. No, it is not possible. We wish we could do that, but it is not possible. What we can be sure of is that we are going to face difficult circumstances. And like I said in the beginning, our variable is how we are going to respond to the difficult situations. So our mindset, our emotions is what we need to work on. How can we begin to work on these two variables? One, I like to say the 3 A's of mindset and emotional wellness are awareness, acknowledgement, and then address. I repeat, the 3 A's of emotional and mindset wellness is become aware, acknowledge, and then address. How can we become aware of our emotions? We become aware of our emotions by being mindful. Mindfulness is a state where you stay calm, you calm your body so that you can listen to it. We know a world that is very fast. Everything is moving so fast, except in this COVID season that things have slowed down. But on a normal day, things move very fast. You wake up at 5 a.m., you quickly say your prayers, you dash out, you take your breakfast on your way to work, you get to the office, you're a little late, do your 8 hours, or you get to your business premises, get into traffic again, quickly come home. There's homework to be done for mothers, there's cooking, homework, a crying baby, a house girl who left during the day. And you know, before you know it, it's midnight and it's sleep time, and you run that clock 24/7, 365 days in a year. And before you know it, 10 years have passed. We rarely get time to be still. Even the good book tells us to be still. I am telling you, we need to learn to be mindful. We need to learn how to quieten our bodies so that we can hear what the body is telling us. When we quieten our bodies, In the beginning, it will be very difficult, by the way, for you to just stay still and not wander in your thoughts. But as you begin to learn how to quieten your body, to be mindful, you notice that you're able to feel almost every part of your body. And you notice that there are aspects of there are parts of your body that could have been aching, but you have never noticed because you're always in a hurry. You'll be able to now hear your thoughts. What have you been thinking about during the day? What were you thinking about yesterday? You'll be able to hear your feelings. I say hear intentionally, not just feel. Hear them, because they actually are so loud. If you're quiet, you get to hear them. Awareness of your mindset, emotions. I know for a very time, Christians have a very conversation about what meditation, and it's nothing about meditation. Meditation is an extended form of mindfulness where you concentrate on one thing. You can concentrate on prayer, you can concentrate on a good song, but to be able to focus. Once you learn to focus, then situation that is, say, difficult, that requires you to act in a calm manner, your mind will already know how to be calm. The mind, status, your emotional fit is like a, and this muscle requires to be exercised. Exercising your emotional mind and mind fitness through meditation. Then acknowledge that you have, acknowledge that you have been generally very, say, or you have been generally very, very long time. Once you acknowledge, then you are in a situation to address that emotion. Acknowledge, then you cannot be able to ask, I feel this way for so long, what makes me feel this way? Another thing that we can do to be able to be in charge of mindset and emotion is to begin to take time, to take note of what we feel on a day-to-day basis. You can keep tally of the emotions that were most prevalent to you. What is it mainly? Was it anger? Was it happiness? Was it joy? And like I said in the beginning, repeat for a month. If you do that, you will notice that there's certain emotions that will recur a lot of times. Now, the emotions that recur, the three most recurring emotions, the topmost emotions. And these are the emotions that you need to begin to address. These are the emotions. Ask your emotional, sort of nature, and then tell, why do you feel this way? Why are these emotions so recurrent? Where did they come from? And if these are what we call usually negative emotions, I call them disempowering emotions. If these are disempowering emotions, you need to ask yourself, why are they disempowering? For example, if you're constantly feeling hopeless, there is a reason behind that hopelessness. Instead of what do, and this becomes my point number 4, instead of asking disempowering questions like, why me? Why did this have to happen to my family? Learn to ask yourself empowering questions, because disempowering questions give you disempowering responses. When you ask, why me? Your mind gives you a response like, because you're not bright enough. Why did I lose my job? Because the boss did not like me. And those are very disempowering answers. These disempowering answers give you hopelessness. These disempowering answers create further emotional disturbance, further negative emotions. But consider yourself asking, say you have lost a job and you ask, instead of asking what, you ask an empowering question. like, what else would this mean? If you ask yourself, what else would this mean? Then you get answers like, it could mean that maybe it is my time to start a new business. It could mean that maybe it is time to look for another line of work. Maybe my time as an employee is over. There is no way you ask empowering questions and get disempowering answers. So that is very key, even for children. Parents who are here, to train your children to ask empowering questions. When your child comes home and they say, you know, the kids in class picked on me, of course, you will address the emotion they're feeling at that particular time. Maybe they're feeling bad, they're feeling annoyed, but then you can teach them to ask themselves more empowering questions. Is it because I'm the one who is most confident and that is why they picked on me? I answer most of the questions, and most likely, and especially in situations of bullying in class, parents, your kid will always have a possible positive reason why they're bullied. And it is your responsibility to focus your child in that direction so that then this should have been negative situation becomes an empowering situation where they feel more creative, where they feel more empowered, where they feel more responsible, and therefore they become better persons. Then another way in which we can begin to address our emotional and mindset wellness is by encouraging our bodies to produce happy hormones. Our bodies have got happy hormones, hormones that are produced when we sleep well, hormones that are produced when we eat healthy. Mwangi, I'm sure you've thought about that in some of your past sessions. Hormones that are produced when we do the things that make us happy. So in this COVID season, I know many people having long nights because they know they may not be going to an office the next day. That is detrimental to your wellness. That is detrimental to your mindset and emotional wellness. You need to rest well, you need to sleep deeply, you need to eat healthy, you need to get out into the sunlight, you need to walk, dance, do the things that you enjoy, and your mind will begin to acquire better, empowering emotions. When you create a scenario of, say, happiness, before you sleep, you dance. Before you sleep, you can even play with your children. Everybody goes to sleep happy. Now, the last emotions that you are having before you sleep are to be in the before you sleep, you hear it playing in your mind. If you listen in the morning, it the day. That's you how powerful our minds are. Our minds are like sponges. They take in everything that we present to them. So in that respect, number 5, ensure that you're standing guard at the door of your mind. How do you stand guard at the door of your mind? What are you watching? What are you allowing yourself to see on media? What are you allowing yourself to watch on mainstream media? Who are you allowing into your space? When you allow negative people into your space, once they speak their negativity, your mind takes it in. It doesn't know what to hear. And once it hears, it begins to process. And once it begins to process, it saves some of that into your subconscious. It is your responsibility to guard your mind. The same time, you need to guard your heart. You have any emotions that you will establish as being empowering, you need to begin to address them. Because when you do not address them, they fester. They fester like wounds. They become what begins to ail you. We say that if you do not address that which hurt you, it will begin on that which did not cut it. If you do not address what hurt you, it will begin to bleed on that not cut it, or that which did not cut you. That is how our hearts operate. That's how our emotions. If you're generally a very aggressive person, angry person, you begin to hurt the people around you. Your family. That is why the recommend for any one person who is here tonight is that journey. In a journey of self-awareness, you begin to understand who you are. You begin to get comfortable with who you are. Sometimes we are irritated, we are angered by the presence of persons that we think are better than us. And technically, nobody is better than the other. We're just different. We're just different, gifted differently. And if we are more aware of who we are, then we become comfortable with ourselves. When we become comfortable, we feel enough. A journey of self-awareness makes you begin to feel enough. When you feel enough, when you say, I am enough, and begin to feel it, then chances are the emotions that you emit, or the emotions that you feel will be different from a person who is feeling maybe low self-esteem, or a person who is feeling that they do not fit in society, or they're not likable. And so take that journey if you can. And because we're in a season where everything has slowed down, it is possible to get help with that kind of a course, or that kind of a journey. Last but not least, seek professional help. People, you do not seek help because you're weak. You seek help because you want to remain strong. So if you feel that your emotional and mindset fitness requires to be taken to the next level, I suggest that you seek professional help. Thank you very much, Mwangi.
Awesome.
I could go on and on, but I think that is just about it.
Awesome, awesome, Carol. I love it, love it, love it. I kindly express your on the chat, guys. How was by Carol? I really loved it, and you know what? I have been taking notes. I forgot to tell everyone, guys, grab your pen, and your paper. But I did that, and you know the last thing that you said, Carol, that seek professional help, not because you're weak, but so that you can remain strong. That's amazing, because you know most of the time when we think that if we go and help, if like asking, we think that we will look like we are weak, all right? And so I want to thank everyone tonight who has joined us, because it means that they want to remain strong, you know, and that's why they tuned in. They want to learn. They want to remain to remain strong. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to. Wawero says that awesome insights. You know, key points, self-journey and self-mastery. That is from Shiko. Lynette says, thanks, Carol. That was quite informative. Irene is saying, amazing. Become aware. Acknowledge those emotions and address them. Wow. Great presentation there. Our coach is saying, I am inspired, challenged, and feel validated. Thank you, Carol, and God bless you. One of my friends, Timothy, back, he kept awareness, acknowledge, and address. You know, those were the three foundations: aware, be aware, and then acknowledge and address. And so thank you so much, Carol. I want us to shift gears. I want us to shift gears, you know, and make this conversational, make this more interactive. And so I want us to ask questions. So you guys help me engage Carol for the next 10 minutes or so with your questions. Kindly type those questions. If you're shy, you know, you can even send a text, it's okay, but let's ask those questions. Janet is saying very true. For our well-being, we need to go beyond physical diet, emotional needs. Well, all right. So this is quite informative. Carol, let me ask you. So help me create an atmosphere that is, let me use the right word, that will help me be positive, empowering emotions, okay? So how do I set my day? How do I set up myself for positivity throughout the day? I know you mentioned about, you know, playing music at night or playing with the kids. What if I was busy, I forgot, but morning is here. So what do I do?
Well, if you forgot, which I really hope you don't forget, even if it's 5 minutes. You know, sometimes we think that this setting, if I could set it pace time, as 5. I'm assuming that you're praying these 5 minutes. I'm assuming that you have just 5 minutes to set your day. You can actually have 5 minutes in traffic if you're not driving or even driving. 5 minutes before you leave the house, 5 minutes as you walk to the bathroom in your office. You can, on a day-to-day basis, do 2 things for just 5 minutes. 1, breathe deeply. What does breathing deeply means? It means you breathe in and feel the air coming in to your stomach so that your stomach extends outwards. I wish this was a physical meeting, would be doing it practically, but you get what I mean. Most of the time we breathe very shallowly. When we breathe shallowly, it means that we have very little oxygen running throughout the body all day. Now, what does little oxygen mean? It means that our brains are not getting enough air. When our brains are not getting enough air, we are not alert. Our cognition is affected. Our response to situations that require emotional aptitude is lowered. So 1, deep breathing. You can take actually 5 to 10 seconds to do deep breathing, because you can, during the day, every 1 or 3 hours, you can be able to call yourself to breathe deeply for just 5-10 seconds. That is 1. So it doesn't have to be done just in the morning. Number 2, for 5 minutes in the house. Don't meditate. Get to the office. Sit still for 5 minutes. What are you doing with these 5 minutes? You can call them your gratitude session. You know, if we can learn gratitude, it becomes almost impossible to be annoyed. If you sit for 5 minutes and count the blessings that God has given you, the blessings that you have been able to get from other people, that, you know, you're more advantaged by more than so many other people, just for 5 minutes on a day-to-day basis, your emotional feelings will be so positive, you will not have room to get annoyed. You will not have room to react to traffic. You'll be feeling, the reason why you're in traffic, there's somebody who is not caught up, they have to walk 20 kilometers.
You're alive. You're in traffic because you're alive, you know?
Excellent. Yeah? Excellent. Yes. So if you just don't have too much time, I ask for 5 minutes of your time in the morning, in between your day, 3 times a day. You can breathe in deeply for 15 seconds. You can say, you can meditate just for 5 minutes, and that will set a different tone.
Carol, you know what? I am a believer in you learn and execute. Okay, we learn and execute, and so if it can take us 10 seconds to just change how we are feeling tonight, why don't we? So show us how to breathe. For those 10 seconds, show us how to breathe.
Mwangi, before even we need to sit upright. We need to sit upright. We need to have our shoulders out. You cannot breathe deeply if you're seated like this, if you're slouching. I notice that so many of us, when we sit in the office, we slouch. Now that position robs you of a lot of air, robs you of a lot of breathing space. So you need to sit out, put out your shoulders.
Am I sitting properly? Am I sitting properly? Okay.
You can actually choose to most of the time we breathe in through the nose, but some people take in a bit of air through the mouth. If you're not used, you can just do both. But the idea is that when you're breathing deeply, you don't breathe with your chest, you breathe with your stomach. So the stomach goes out, in, like that. So you need to feel your stomach expanding as you're breathing in, and you can hold it for a second. And then release through the mouth.
Awesome.
If you do that 5 times, you feel way better than you're in the last 10 minutes. Awesome.
So if people start doing, take some time and breathe heavily, breathe,
Not heavily, deep.
Yeah, or deeply, you breathe deep. What is the second thing?
Like this.
Meditation.
That is not deeply, that's heavy.
We breathe deeply.
Yes.
And when you breathe in, much will be coming out.
Yes.
Awesome. And then the second thing you said is about meditation. Yeah. In those 5 minutes, in those 5 minutes, you said the least we can do is breathe deeply. And then number 2 is to learn gratitude. In short, is counting our blessings, right?
Yes.
You just take time and count your blessings. Count your blessings.
Let me interject, Mwangi. Sometimes we are so busy and we think that we are unable to do these things, to carve out time to do these things. If we begin to practice, these are things we do even as we go on doing other things. When you're cooking, mother, when you're cooking, you can begin to count your blessings as you're washing your dishes. You can teach your children to count their blessings as they're playing their games. What are you grateful for? What are you thanking God for? And once it becomes a pattern, your mind reverts to that gratitude every so often. And when you come into a situation that is a crisis, by default, your mind will revert to that sort of mindset.
Awesome, Carol. Time is running out, but I don't want to miss John's questions. And people put out your questions there, and we'll give Carol time to just answer. John is asking, can someone be born with or acquire a high temper? Okay. He has a boss who has been completely unable to control his temper. So he sometimes doesn't know that he's getting out of control. So what can John do, and how can he control his environment, so to say? How can he control it?
I'll say this very quickly. Genetics affects us up to about 3%. And that 3%, science is showing us that it is further affected by our environment, what we are calling epigenetics. So in essence, the extent to which you will get bad temper from your father because be different from your father's environment. But wherever the temper came from, what can this person do about it? The one thing the person needs to do, like we said, the 3 A's of wellness is become aware. Are you able to make this aware that they have a high temper? That, Mwangi, do you realize that every time we are in traffic, you really shout and call names to the touts in a very nice way? Depending on the relationship between this person, they may be able to tell them, to make them aware. At the point if this person now acknowledges that they have an issue, then the next point after where they acknowledge, then it is to address. Now, unfortunately, what we have been taught is to ignore, is to suppress, is to express. That is how we have been taught to show our emotions. Negative, disempowering emotions do not need to be suppressed. They do not need to be expressed. They do not be ignored. What do I mean by expressing? I need to act out my anger. So when we say you need to address it, what are we saying? We are saying, begin to ask yourself, under what circumstances do I get angry? And then this person will begin to notice a pattern, that I get angry when people work in this manner. I get angry when my employees, because I'm hearing he's a boss, when my employees do 1, 2, 3. And then for you to be able to address a disempowering emotion, remember, we said, ask an empowering question. What is an empowering question in this scenario? Is there anything that I can do to my employees so that they stop responding in the way they are responding? Do I need to train them further? Do I need to hold a meeting with them? What that I can do to help them so that they stop responding or causing me to feel irritated? But most of all, this person needs to remember that they are in charge of their reaction. So that what I'm saying is that, Mwangi, you can call me names, but it is my responsibility how I respond to that. I do not have to get angry because you've called me names. I can choose to respond differently and say, well, that's what Mwangi's opinion is. My opinion of myself is that I'm not that kind of a person, and therefore I will choose not to be angry. So there are 2 ways. Address, find out where you're getting the negative or disempowering emotions, and then now deal with ways in which you can turn this disempowering emotion into an empowering emotion. There's a lot more around that. I'm just answering in light of time, but for that person, that is the way they can begin to address it.
So for real, Caro, this person, John, we are telling you, you're saying that he should be the master of his emotions, not to let the boss be the one to control his emotions.
Oh, it was the other way. I guess I got it wrong. That John is the one who's getting angry because the boss is not nice to him.
Because of the boss, yeah.
No, then John is the one in charge of his emotions. John needs to ask himself, do I need to get angry when the boss gets angry? The boss has got his reasons, or he's dealing with a situation. So John needs to choose a response that is not necessarily anger, and ask himself also, what else can I do also in this situation so that I don't cause such a scenario? Because maybe even him is contributing to the scenario.
Awesome, awesome. Caro, Daniel is saying positivity in time of crisis is a very useful insight. Thanks, Caro, for the great talk. Abby is saying her take home is 3 A's: aware, acknowledge, address. Lynette is saying it is a responsibility on how I choose to react. Quite enlightening. Nkata is saying it's very informative.
Excuse me, Mwangi.
Yes.
The word is respond, not react. You choose to respond, not
so
react.
Even the choice of words, you know, I feel it has something to do with how we feel and our emotions. Carol, I think I will have to call you another time. This topic is awesome. But your parting shot, Carol, I need you to give us your parting shot. It's a difficult season, you know, it has been for all of us, for most of us. It has been tough and rough for some. Your parting shot on how do we deal with our emotions, our mindset in this difficult season. Your 1 minute parting shot, Carol.
Thank you very much, Mwangi. I'll say to all of us, the mindset and emotional fitness is actually a journey. It is not something that we can do in one sitting. And so if you're here and feeling overwhelmed, yes, it's a difficult season and I'm in a corner, take a map and choose to take action a little bit every single day. It is a journey. You cannot do it in one sitting. It is a few steps every single day. And as long as you can be able to record your progress, no matter how small it is, every single day, your mind will begin to register positivity. So record your progress every single day, no matter how small it feels, and your mind will begin to register your new positivity. Be kind to yourself. Congratulate yourself when you're able to do something, and when you're not able to do even the little, commit to it the next day. Remember that your emotions, your mindset, your body are triplets. They depend on each other to be well. Thank you, Mwangi.
Asante sana, Carol, appreciated. Thank you so much. Jackson is saying, thanks, Carol, nice tips of managing emotions. And Diongo here is saying, being in charge of my emotions. Thank you, Carol, for really, you know, helping us take this journey. Life is a journey, so we take it by stride and record progress. We should be nice to ourselves, and I want to say asante sana. For me, my biggest is myself empowering questions, okay? Empowering questions, not disempowering questions. Sasa, kwa nini, why me? So we change that and we change the situation and face it. So thank you very much, Carol. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming towards the end of Candid Conversation tonight. I want to remind you that we will be having another about 6 sessions to go every other week for the next 6 weeks. Kindly tune in same time on Wednesday, 7 to 8:30. We will be here, like I said. It's the season that we are in it together. We will pull through, and we want to do it together. So kindly stay tuned every Wednesday. And ladies and gentlemen, here at Outburst, we have committed to be with you, to assist all of us, even as and support you to get through to the other side. And I believe life is only gonna get better. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you that our CSR program, Boot Cancer Challenge, is also committed to supporting the GIO, and we are doing that. No matter the season that we are in, we have committed that we'll do that. And so we have a pay bill number that will be put up if you want to donate to them. We are committed that in October, we are visiting them every month to just take our proceeds. And in October, we normally have our annual event dubbed the Boot Cancer Challenge. It will happen for the first time virtually this year. And so, ladies and gentlemen, kindly be with us, support us, stand with us, even as we support those in the GIO. In October, we have T-shirts that will be giving you, and the T-shirts will only go for 1,000 shillings. You can send your 1,000 shillings and the T-shirt to you. We will make sure it is sanitized, it is looking good, and all that to remind you that have been supporting someone in this, and we will be pushing positivity. And even if we do that, we believe that your life is just gonna get better. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. John is saying thanks, Caro, very informative. Everyone has loved the chats, the information tonight. The most important thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that it's not about listening, but let's go out there, and the tips that we have: awareness, acknowledgement, and address. Do those things starting tomorrow, tonight actually. Play some nice music before you go to bed, and I believe you'll wake up feeling better. And then tomorrow, and as you go continue with your day, remember to breathe deeply, and most importantly, just let's all learn the attitude of gratitude. Let's count our blessings. Thank you so much. I want to say asante sana for all of you who have taken time to join. God bless. God bless you. Have yourself a wonderful night, a wonderful week. We'll see you again here next week, same time. Tune in 7 to 8:30. And let's have a candid conversation. This is me, your MC Mwangi Chege. God bless you. Have a lovely night. Cheers. Good night. Thank you, Carol. Have a good night.
Good night. Good night.
Showing up for lit. See
Alema, Ikayala, Ilonolose, Uhambena, Sungangishilana, Jawuyami, Alikolana, Busowami, Aukolana, Ilonolose, Uhambena, Jawuyami, Alikolana, Busowami, Aukolana. Ilonolose, Uhambena, Ilonolose, 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 Sungangishilana, Ilonolose,